Well, you've written a couple of books on those topics, but your latest one is called, and it's a whopper, Magic Soup, Typing Monkeys, and Horny Aliens from Outer Space. The patently absurd, wholly unsubstantiated, and extravagantly failed atheist origin myth. How's that for a title? Well, in it, you take a cuttingly humorous approach to dismantling the atheist origin myth. Dr. Stephen Meyer, one of our favorites, calls it a rambunctious romp exposing the absurdities of what Sayet calls the extravagantly failed atheist origin myth. With his trademark humor, Sayet exposes the absurdities of the materialist superstition of our age. Now, you mentioned that the impetus for the book started with Mr. Richard Dawkins and his appearance on Bill Maher's show, Politically Incorrect. How did Mr. Dawkins get you going on this project?
Yeah, I mean, back then, I agreed with his conclusion. I too was an atheist, but it was bothersome to me. And this was in retrospect. I mean, it took me a while to recognize that it was Dawkins' appearance that day that really did begin me on my quest for something more than atheism and godlessness. And it wasn't just Dawkins. It was whenever Maher had on someone who claimed to be an intellectual or a scientist or a comedian, but who was aggressively antagonistic towards people who believe in God. And even though I didn't believe in God at the time, I didn't think it was appropriate. It just didn't smell right for scientists to be engaging in hyperbole and ridicule, for intellectuals like Christopher Hitchens to be engaging in non-intellectual, in fact, anti-intellectual name-calling. I mean, I noticed that even Maher, who I think is an incredibly funny and talented comedian, and yet his jokes at the expense of the non-believers were devoid of wit. They were devoid of anything that would constitute a joke. There was no clever turn of a phrase. There was no ironic twist. It was really just a cruelty in the guise of humor. And more as I saw these people who ridiculed those who believed in God, I recognized that they would ridicule, but they would never refute. And when they would say, what do you believe in God's stead? They'd say, we believe in science. But when it came time for them to then offer the science they say that they believe in, they could offer nothing other than a quick return to the ridicule of others. There is no, and what eventually dawned on me is that atheism is not a scientific belief. In fact, it is neither scientific nor is it a belief. Simply disbelieving in one thing in no way implies that you believe in anything else. And what I came to recognize is that these atheists don't believe in God, but neither do they believe in any of the alternatives to God.